Next, we have a book reading. I'm glad we have folks joining in. I would see if we can find out later. I would recommend folks to come ahead and sit because we have the coolers running now, so it's not hot anymore. It is cooler. Yeah, please come. So it's Gulmohar, where all the short films are playing. It's a short film festival. He's curated. Anand is the one who's curated those films. So whenever you catch a break and you go down to the conference area, it's in the room Gulmohar. So I would recommend you catch that. Next up, we have Nita Menezes. First, I thought she's 27 years old, but it's actually 27 years of experience. She comes with 27 years of experience. She's a certified financial planner and founding member and national president of WICCI's Financial Literacy and Management Council. She's going to read from her book, Be Financially Smart. So welcome, Nita. You can take some experts if you want, you can read. And then mostly share.
So good afternoon to all of you. Can I have some energy, please? Oh, wow. Yes, we are all women here, right? And the supportive men who are supporting all as women. So let's make some noise. Okay. Just give me a minute. So like this says, words matter, thoughts matter, you matter. I've been on this journey, as she said, for 30 years, not 27. Now it's, as of today, it's almost 30 years, 3 decades that I've spent on spreading financial literacy. Because when I started off, when I was, like most of you, in my 16, 17, 18 years of age, I have a 19-year-old son now, by the way. So when I was at that age, I had actually taken up science because I aspired to be a doctor, a medical doctor. And I thought science students don't need to know anything about money. That's for the commerce students. That's those who are doing accounts. But science students, oh, okay, we need to study. And as a doctor, I need to know about medical terms. Forget about everything else. And something really happened to me, wherein I had started earning from an early age because I used to teach. I love teaching because my mom was a housewife and she used to give tuitions. So I used to assist her. So as soon as I finished my 10th standard, I started teaching as well and I started earning some money. And this is around the 1990s, if I tell you, 1991, 92. The only options there at that time were fixed deposits, savings. And my dad, who was an accountant in a private company, actually told me that a little of your money which is lying in the bank, but there's a wonderful scheme that has come out. And in that scheme, you will get 20% returns. 20% returns was a huge thing in those years. And he said 20% returns, and in addition to that, you will be given a gift. It was a yellow-colored hair dryer. You know, that was like something that I would love to possess at that point of time. And I said, wow, the 20% was like, yeah, good. But the hair dryer, that was something which I wanted. So I told my dad, wonderful, I'll definitely get the hair dryer. He said, yes. So I had some 20 to 50,000 amount which was lying with me in my FD. I said, okay, I'll invest that money. And my dad was retiring at that point of time. That was when I was around my 12th standard. And he said, I'm putting my retirement money as well. So I did not need any other, thing like, okay, dad's money also is getting invested, so he knows all about it. He's an accountant. And mom is a housewife, so she doesn't know about money. I'm a science student, so I don't need to know about money. And I invested my money. And they gave me post-dated checks. Okay, 2 years of post-dated checks were handed over to me, along with the yellow-colored hair dryer. You can see the look on my face because I still remember the color. I can't forget it. First month, the check encashed. Second month, the check encashed. Third month, the check bounced. The hair dryer was okay. I went and I asked my dad, what happened to the check? It bounced. He said, I don't know. I'll check it out. I said, okay. Fourth month, the check again bounced. Then I went to my dad and he looked all stressed. I said, Dad, what's this? I hope my capital is intact. And Dad said, what are you asking me? I have put around 3 times of more than what you have invested. I am checking on this. And no check after that encashed. I lost my capital. The only thing that remained with me was the hairdryer. And that's when I realized that was a Ponzi scheme. And many people like my dad not just lost their money, but most of the retirees had invested their money. Most of them had borrowed money and put in this scheme. It was a deposit, a fixed deposit, kind of a corporate deposit scheme, which turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. It was all over in the newspapers and everywhere. And that's when I decided to change my career. I said, no, I want to understand what is this important thing called money. But crazy thing about money, which I thought my dad understood, which I thought all those retirees who are 60, 58 would have understood in so many years that they have been working and earning money. But I realized no one knew about money. And what I realized after that was my mom was very good at saving, dad was very good at earning, but no one was good at investing. And the markets at that time, my dear, was at 4,000 or 5,000. Today we are at 80,000. If I would have invested that money and just fill it, shut it, forget it, it would have been crores by now, right? But at that time, it was a different scenario because no one actually believed in markets. The market scenario was much different when I'm talking about equity markets. And so I said, I want to understand more about this. And I started studying about it. I started meeting people. I started interacting with people. And then destiny, as it got me, from a medical doctor, I turned out to be a financial doctor. I took up a job, started meeting advisors, and then I got into insurance. And I did my fellowship in insurance. I worked with insurance. I did everything from door-to-door knocking to cold calling to cold canvassing, everything. I was new, as my dad said, why are you getting into this? No one in our, this has done something in marketing. I worked as a staff, first of all, when I was in college. And I also I got into sales later on because I realized that was more lucrative, more money. I saw salespeople had more of a car and all those kinds of things, and otherwise a desk job would only give me so much. And from there, I started my journey. Then I realized another shock came to me. I said, insurance is for risk management, isn't it? It's to take care of the risks. It can't make me wealth. And that's where I said, okay, I need to understand equity markets now. So after doing my fellowship in life insurance, after working for 15 years with LIC of India, then I did my certified financial plan. And then I started interviewing financial planners. I love networking, I love meeting people, I love talking, as you can see. So I started meeting a lot of people, and I got a lot of experience through that. I realized that a lot of people have the same problem. You know what was missing? What was missing was financial literacy. Some people have 1 crore, some people have 10 lakhs, some people have 10,000. But if you do not know how to manage your money, you all will land in the same state. And that's why I decided to make this a part of my passion and my mission to help reach out to many more people. Another thing I realized when I started consulting, I consulted business owners, corporate executives, I consulted CFOs of companies, okay? And men, not just men, but women. And I realized women CFOs doing amazingly well, managing billions of dollars of their own company, but their own personal finance, oh, I don't understand it. My husband is better at it. Right now, let it be, let my bonus come. I want to enjoy on this thing, but I don't. My father, my brother, my uncle, it just didn't stop there. Some of them said, my son. I mean, is he qualified enough? No, he understands it. I don't understand that jargon. And then I started getting deep into it. When I met celebrities, they would tell me, "Mujhe SIP karna hai, Nita." And I would say, okay, which mutual fund? They said, mutual fund? No, market mein nahi. Then I realized they don't understand what is the meaning of SIP. The ad, SIP sahi hai, it goes on ringing there, right? On the radio. It was a huge campaign. But they thought SIP was a product. Someone said, ek badhiya product aaya hai. And I would say, okay. I said, who told you? She said, my other friend told me. And she said, government ka backing hai. And I said, what was that? I realized it was PPF. So that's when I realized in the celebrity market, it was very different. Everyone thinks if one person gets a good return for something, they feel they'll go and tell everyone. And that's what I realized. Word of mouth also worked. Networking also worked. And if someone gets a good return, they will go and tell others, but they will not realize what the product is, what is it that they're getting into. And there are so many influencers which I saw, which can come and say, oh, this is very good. But it may be good for you, but it may be not good for her. Because personal finance is more personal and less finance. There is a lot of behavior that goes into it. And I realized women always take a back seat. I don't know why, but when I started questioning, I realized it's because of the money messages. It's because of the mindset. Because when we are growing up, we are told, ये घर तुम्हारा नहीं है, तुम शादी करके वो घर में जाओ. That has been put into our head. It's been told, अच्छी पढ़ाई करो, उसके बाद नौकरी. And that's what even my parents told me. Study hard, then get a job, then work harder, get a promotion. And I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. And they said, what? My dad said, no one in our family has been an entrepreneur. No one has been in sales. I said, I'm going to challenge that and I'm going to do it. And I went on to search for financial freedom. And that's where I decided to write my book, The Modern Woman's Guide to Money, Be Financially Smart. And the book came to me when, I'll tell you, I also am an image consultant, by the way, because I kept upskilling myself on a regular basis when I had to deal with people, meet with people. And I started talking about financial literacy to everyone. When I went to invest there were people who would tell me, Nita, I want to invest 1 crore. I would say yes. And I said, what about your risk management? Do you have adequate health insurance? They would say, that's fine, my company is taking care of me. But I said, God forbid if tomorrow you want to decide and become an entrepreneur. Will your insurance, group health insurance continue? No. Tomorrow, if God forbid the company says, we want to lay off some people, along with your farewell, your health insurance also will say farewell to you. And that point of time, when you go there to take health insurance, if your age has increased, sorry, your premium also will increase. And maybe you would have an extra health loading that is done with your premium. So then I said, okay, there's much more now to be done. Not just working, not just consulting. I spoke to doctors I had a women gynecologist who was my client. And when I met her, she said, someone gave me her reference. And when I met her, she said, Nita, I don't want to meet up. I don't understand money. I said, okay. She said, meet my husband, as usual. I said, no, I want to meet both of you. When I met both of them, she said, you know what? I don't understand all these terms. I said, fine, just sit down. And we started the meeting. I asked them, what is important about money to them? I asked her, what do you want your money to do for you? She said, no one has asked me this question before. I said, yes, that's why I am here. You need to know what you want your money to do for you. Without knowing where you're going, any road will do, right? Just a football match with no goal post does not make sense. A cricket match without a scoreboard does not make sense. Then why about your life? And then she said, okay, I will listen to you. At the end of the meeting, she said, Nita, I'm so glad. And she was a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor, as I said. She named me a financial doctor because she said, you made it sound so simple. Because when I spoke to her about markets, I talked about ECG. And she immediately related to it. I said, you do not want the ECG just to go that. Or you do not want it to go only down, it will die. Same way, markets, you have to be in the markets. You cannot enter when the market is high. Because if the market drops, you will lose your money. And she said, wow, that's so simple to understand. At the end of the meeting, she said, Nita, some 2 years back, this guy came to me from a bank, an RM, a relationship manager, and he kept telling me that he was actually invited to help me invest my money. She said the first thing, he did not look at me. He kept looking at my husband and talking to him. He just ignored me as though I was not there. Then he kept telling my husband, आपको PMS करना है. आपको PMS करना है. She said, I'm a gynac. The only PMS I understand is, right? Premenstrual. And this guy is going on telling, and my husband is like, yes. He's a doctor as well. I said, I found it foolish because I was wondering, maybe this is some jargon which I'm not aware. And so she said, I decided not to invest my money. I said, FDs is better for me. 2 years, my money was lying in FD. And that's when I realized, I asked her a question. I said, I'm happy. After 2 years, I've got your business. That guy lost his business because he did not know how to connect to a woman advisor. I mean, to connect to a woman client. And who is the other loser? You lost the money. Because your money was lying in FD. And there was a silent killer out there in FD. Do you know the silent killer? जैसे हर पिक्चर में हीरो होता है, हीरोइन होती है, एक विलन होता है. हमारे लाइफ का विलन है इन्फ्लेशन. हमारे पैसे और हमारे बीच का विलन होता है इन्फ्लेशन. And that inflation was eating into her money. Because her money was only growing at 4% or 5%, max at 6%. And actually she had lost when the market was going up. She lost that rate of interest which would have made her money to grow and compound. So my request to all of you is start investing your money. This is not just a book. This is a guide. This is a movement, a financially smart movement to help not just women, but to help young adults across to take charge of their financial lives. So I'll just read out a poem from this book. I have written a poem. How much time do I have? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I can go on. So this book I've talked about the challenges faced by women. I've talked about the magical power of compounding. Believe me, all of you here, youngsters, you can even start with 100 rupees and participate in the market. You have one thing which we don't have, which I don't have, and that is time. I need to give your money time to grow. Just like a plant, when you put a seed, once you water it, you will give it time, it will grow into a huge banyan tree, right? Same way your money will grow for you. And remember one thing, money is just a tool. Money is not happiness. I've seen people of the age of 80, 85, जैसे मार्केट ऊपर नीचे होता है उनका ब्लड प्रेशर भी ऊपर नीचे होता था. जैसे मार्केट ऊपर होता था, they would get greedy and they would invest more money. And when market would come down, they would panic and pull out their money. Actually, जब market नीचे होता है, you know what time is it? Sale, sale, sale. जैसे हमारे Myntra and all the others, Amazon, sale होता है, उस time पे market में invest करना ज़रूरी होता है. And you need to give it time to grow. So even the word smart it's an acronym, where S stands for saving. You need money, right? You have to upgrade your skills as well on a regular basis.
Nita,
So
Nita.
first save your money.
Nita, mic.
Second is,
Live streaming also, no?
sorry.
Yeah.
Second is M. M stands for money management skills. That's one skill which you need to be aware of. And I have shared a lot of tools, which is envelope, 6 envelopes tool in how you can actually manage your money in a beautiful way. So that's all there in this book. A stands for attitude. You need to, you know, जैसे computer में CPU होता है, we have our brain. We need to say, no, we can afford it. And then the next question is, how can I afford it? How can I start saving? How can I invest, and which product do I need to invest in, which comes in as the last part. R is the resources. All of us have a smartphone today, right? One click of a button, loads of information. So how resourceful are you? And T stands for time. Give your money time to grow. And as I always say, dil mange more. So I didn't stop at smart, I made it smarter. E stands for equity. If you want to create wealth, keeping your money in the dabba, in the good luck, in the cupboard, in the bank will not allow your money to create wealth. You need to put your money into the markets. You can do that to start off with mutual funds, then with stocks. But in India में हमारे पास एक बीमारी होती है. Either we invest in savings or FDs, नहीं तो next we go directly to Bitcoin.
F&O.
F&O. Yeah, SIPs is a good option. So बीच में का option जो होता है is first actually create your corpus and then take risks. I never tell youngsters, even my son, when we say no, they want to try it more.
Yeah.
So I said, try it, but with 5% of what your expenses, after deleting your expenses, after that, whatever your income, you can try and experiment. Otherwise, you'll get into the burnt finger syndrome. Because there are people even in 75 and 80-year-olds who tell me, Nita, मैं जब भी market में पैसा डालता हूँ, market गिर जाती है. And then I tell them, sir, next time आप जब market में पैसा डालने का सोच भी रहे हो ना, sir, आप मुझे बता देना, मैं मेरा पैसा डाल दूँ. क्योंकि that time it is sale time, right? So I'll just read the poetry and I'll finish it. follow me at the rate Nita_Menezes. My company name is also Be Financially Smart. And I've been blessed because my publisher, Westland Publishers, also gave me an opportunity to name my book Be Financially Smart. Because I said this is not just a book, it's not just a guide, it's a movement. I'll end it with a poem. It's time to rise and get financially smart. Dear sister, hear me out today. For your financial life, it's time to slay. Don't wait for fate to take the lead. It's time to step up and take the lead. You're awesome at most things, you know. Saving and managing expenses, you've got the flow. But it's time to focus on assets that can grow and make informed decisions as you go. Don't let others control your fate. Your finances are yours to create. You're an entrepreneur, a CFO, a success. But financial independence, yes, you must address. Don't live just paycheck to paycheck. Splurging on luxuries, a financial wreck. Focus on long-term goals and financial security and watch your bank account grow with clarity. Yes, there are challenges, we know. Breaks in career, low pay, lower pay, and more. But with discipline, knowledge, and grit, you can overcome and never quit. So, sister, it's time to get financially smart. Make smart decisions right from the start. Invest in your education, your future, your life, and say goodbye to financial strife. Remember, you're not alone in this fight. We are here to support, to inspire, and ignite. Let's break the stereotypes, the barriers, the norms, and create a financial future that transforms. So let's raise a glass to you and me, to financial independence, to be free. Let's take the reins and pave the way for a brighter future starting today. Let's get financially smart.
Thank you, Nita.